I'm always kind of afraid that I'm going to catch my hair on fire accidentally if I put those candles back behind me and I stop paying attention. So, how's everybody doing tonight? Hi, Kristen. Hi, Marie. Hi, Lori. How are you? So, it's Mother's Day Eve, and my children are coming over tomorrow morning to make me breakfast in our, well, they're going to make it and bring it over, and we're going to eat it in the backyard so that we can be in the, in a well-ventilated place and keep our distance and all of that. Although at this point, because Bella's already had COVID and she's so far out from it, and same with Sam, and I've been socially isolating with Nikki, I'm not too worried about it. But so I've been thinking about Mother's Day, and hi, Laura, and which leads me to be thinking about unconditional love. And my first child, who's 27 now, I'm sure some of you know, has given me a real run for my money in life. Though now he's doing quite well. He's been in California for a few years, but his childhood was really intense. He's a real intense kid, and his adolescence was real difficult. So I learned a ton of lessons, a ton of lessons about unconditional love from raising my oldest child. He was kind of on a real path towards destruction for a while, and so I thought for sure I didn't think for sure. I always was wondering if I was going to lose him. And so it's just like the joy of my life to have him be doing well and focused on his health. I did it again. I invited Rosie to join the meditation this evening, and she's going to just be distracting the whole time. So I'm going to put her downstairs. I'll be right back. We just went for a good walk and everything, and I thought for sure she was all like sacked out on the floor, but no such luck. Anyway, so I guess for tonight's, Lori says, super tired from working on her cabin. Oh, that's good. Weird visual migraine headache. Ooh. Yeah, I'm glad my kids are doing good too. Thank you, Lori. Yeah, so I've just been thinking about, thinking about unconditional love. And I kind of had this revelation today. I saw this yoga video with this woman who was like wearing short shorts, and she had kind of a rounder body, and she was saying that she was just like totally freeing herself from any concern about wearing these short shorts, and she was encouraging other people to do that. And it was really like great the way she presented it, and because she wasn't like a hard body little yoga lady. She was kind of curvy, and I was thinking about myself, and I was like, would I wear short shorts as a yoga teacher? Like, could I do that now? And then I was kind of thinking like, pretty much I could now, but of all the time in my life that I spent worrying about something like cellulite on my thighs, and I was thinking how like it seems like the younger people today they don't seem to have the same kind of, they seem to be more free about their bodies and more kind of accepting of their bodies. And I don't know, I was thinking about that whole like unconditional love for ourselves, and so that's kind of where I'm going tonight with this whole meditation, is towards the theme of self-love and unconditional love for ourselves. And we sure learn that as parents, and we learn it in other ways too. So maybe we learn it as children. Maybe we learn it as parents of our pets, or with our partners in relationships. But I sure learned it with my first child. I kept on thinking, like, when is this going to end? Like, when is he going to stop doing this stuff? And when am I going to be free of it? And I was really fighting about it all in my mind all the time. Like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this. But at some point, I've just learned that, like, it's really just my job to be loving. And I couldn't fix any of it, but I could love him unconditionally. And so, yeah. So that's what I'm thinking about. So, in light of all of that, sorry, I'm a little rambly, but let's come into our meditation position. So if you're going to sit, come to your seat. And if you're going to come onto your back, you might make your way then onto your back now. And doing all of the little things for yourself that show that you care about yourself as you do that. So making yourself comfortable and preparing yourself for this next 15 or 20 minute meditation in the way that you would hope somebody would, like, that you would do for your own beloved friend or child. You would tenderly lay yourself down. You might cover your eyes. You might put a pillow under your head or a blanket over you. I know it's a lot colder in some places. It was 85 in Seattle today, so no blankets needed. But so treating yourself with tenderness and with love, making your way into your meditation seat or onto your back. And then taking a few moments to arrange yourself in such a way that you can be comfortable and present for the next little bit. Your own sweet body on the floor. And then just bringing yourself into the awareness of your breath. Feeling the breath. Let your breath be, tonight, just be like a loving, powerful force that makes you feel good. Like, you don't have to be stingy about it. You can have as much breath as you want. You can have your breath be gentle and relaxed. Just let your breath feel good. Let it be flowing. Let it be unobstructed. Let it be relaxed. And let yourself breathe without judgment of the breath. So you might notice what it feels like and encourage the good feeling of it, but not judging yourself, like, for your breath to be a certain way. Like there's a certain type of meditator breath that you need to achieve. Just bringing yourself more into the awareness of what your breath feels like. And then just feeling all of this flesh that you carry around, your bones, all of the soft tissues of your body, the muscles, the connective tissue, the fascia, your organs, just letting it settle back and relax. And then taking a little tour of this body that you're so intimately familiar with and that you may have all sorts of opinions about. So just feeling your face, this face that you were born with and grew into. You might even try, this is a hard one for me, You might even try to bring a little smile onto your face as you sort of reflect on your journey in this body. Like there's a little bit of sense of humor about being human. So you could try bringing a little smile. It doesn't have to be with your mouth even. It could just be like this general sense of smiling that comes over your face. My mother, speaking of mothers, would always say, "Oh, honey, just put a smile on your face. I promise it will make you feel better." And of course that often would make me mad when she said that. But there is some truth into the expression that we bring on, onto our face, that it does have a certain effect on us. So like this whole thing about relaxing your forehead and relaxing your eyes, taking all of the furrow out of your brow. I like this facial massage. So just bring your hands up to your forehead and kind of pull your forehead skin a little bit with your fingers, kind of raking your fingers over your forehead, taking all of those wrinkles out. And then into that little spot in between the eyebrows. And you might run your fingers along the tops of the eyebrows, just massaging a little bit out into your temples. And you could then bring your fingers along the underneath part of your eyes and kind of circle around the eyes. I just put lotion on my face so it's easier. I'm kind of careful with my eyelids because they're delicate, but you could do a little bit gentle touching of your eyelids. And then kind of bringing the skin of the bridge of your nose and your cheekbones. And then working around your jaw. If you kind of take your thumbs underneath the cheekbone and feel into those muscles gently, just putting the right amount of pressure. You could open your jaw and kind of stretch. And then coming along your jawline, just feeling all this familiar skin and tissue of your face. Coming into your neck a little bit. You could go behind your hands behind your neck and into your traps, and just a little bit of massage there. And then just release your hands and just feel the effects of that little bit of self-massage. And just notice if it changed your breath at all and brought you into any kind of greater sense of relaxation. And then bringing yourself further down, feeling your chest a little bit more open and relaxed, feeling the breath coming in and out through your nose and how it fills your lungs. The gentle movement of your rib cage, your respiratory diaphragm, and probably your belly. And if you're a mom and there's different types of moms. Some moms who've given birth themselves, and some moms who haven't actually given birth but are still moms. But if you have given birth, you could bring your hand onto your belly and just kind of reflect back on your belly and the miraculous things it did to help you bring life into the world. Maybe just kind of rubbing a little bit into your belly. Either way, whether or not there's been a baby in there. Giving yourself a little bit of unconditional love in your belly area. A lot of people have a lot of shame about their bellies, and I can't say that I'm immune from that in my lifetime. Covering your belly or feeling like you need to keep it, nobody can see that you have a little extra or whatever. So just give it a little bit of love. Who cares? And then bringing your hands again back down by your sides and feeling the heaviness of your legs, your sturdy, strong legs. Now here you are, relaxed, laying back. You can probably slightly hear the sound of your breath. And maybe you have some other noises around you that you can hear. Like I can hear the sound of the shower. You might be able to hear that in the background on this live video also. So just hearing the sounds around you and just bringing yourself really present. And then you might reflect for a moment on some of the special people in your life who may have been motherly with you, which could be your own mother, or it could be somebody else's mom, or your grandmother, or a special person in your life, a friend or a teacher who mothered you. So just maybe bringing some of those people into your awareness. I like to bring into my awareness some of the other mothers who helped mother my children, especially as I went through challenges. And there were a lot of them. And they weren't all mothers, actually. There were some who acted as mothers, but didn't have children of their own. So kind of conjuring up those mother figures that have been important to you in your life. And you can imagine the amount of unconditional love that you received from them. For example, Werner's mother, my husband's mother, died when he was 7 years old. She died in a car accident. And his father wasn't really in the picture, so his grandmother and grandfather raised him. And his grandmother is 102 now, and she lives in San Diego. And so she was a huge mother figure in his life, and still is, actually. So there's all kinds of mothering situations. So kind of calling those people into your meditation, imagining the love that they have for you, and how that unconditional love set the stage for you to understand your own self-love, because you were lovable to them and they cared for you. You learned that you were a lovable person. And that's probably one of the biggest things that I learned through my son's difficulties, my oldest child, through all of his trials and tribulations, was that if I continued to love him and show him unconditional love, eventually he would realize, or perhaps underneath he would realize, how lovable he was. And I believe that that is true, that he knows that he is lovable and that he can be loved. And it has also allowed him not only to love himself, but to be loving with other people. And of course, some of that came when he was young, for sure. He had a good, strong, solid, loving base in his life, but there was a lot of self-hatred that he felt for himself, despite that. So ultimately, I think for him, he has learned how to give himself a ton of self-care and self-love. A lot of it for his own body. He works out regularly and he does a lot of things for his physical body. And that was kind of a theme when he was going through his hard times, was not taking care of his body and in fact abusing his body and allowing other people to harm his body. And So he's learned how to completely re-embody himself and how to be loving with himself physically. And that's an inspiration to me. And so you might reflect on that in your own life. The ways in which you are learning or have learned how to be unconditionally loving and caring of yourself, of your own body, and the things that you do that are nourishing and caring for yourself. This kind of thing, just allowing yourself to carve out time to be relaxed and to bring your attention to your breath, can be a very loving thing to do for yourself. So bringing your attention now again back to your physical body and just noticing how you're feeling the breath coming in and out through your nose. When you do these things where you're really conscious and you allow your nervous system to come into a greater state of calm and to bring yourself into these kind of relaxed states and to be more mindful of what's coming up in your mind and more aware of yourself, these can be very profound acts of self-care and love, unconditional love for yourself. As can be other types of physical experiences, exercise and nutrition and things like that. Lots of other things. Massage, acupuncture. We have an acupuncturist in the room here. I think we have a dancer here who loves to dance and has found that to be one of the things in her life that brings her meaning and joy. So maybe you could smile a little bit thinking of that and thinking of my mother telling me to look in the mirror and smile at myself. And then just for the last couple moments, this is something that is really simple but not always easy to do. And I think sometimes it sounds kind of to just say I love you to myself can sound kind of corny, but one of the men in prison that we teach yoga to reported back to us later that one of the most profound practices that he learned from coming to yoga again and again in prison was to love himself. And he had never even really considered it in his life, especially considered the practice of looking at himself in the mirror and saying, I love you to himself. And he started to do it, and it made a huge difference in his life. And this guy was he was a tough guy. He was he was a tough character. And so you might take your hand, you could take your right hand or your left hand and put it on your heart. Maybe take your left hand and put it on your heart and your right hand and put it on your belly. Kind of like you're giving yourself a little hug almost, and just see if you can tell yourself that you love yourself. You can say, I love you to yourself. Just like you would to somebody that you are completely enamored of, whether it would be your child or your partner or your puppy dog. Say, I love you. And then you could just bring your hands down again by your sides, feeling how relaxed you are and how surrendered your body is. And if you're going to come back up to your seat, you could roll onto your side with your heavy, relaxed body, and then just kind of push yourself back up to your seat. Or you can stay on your back if you're going to be there. Go to sleep. And just keeping this nice, soft face, maybe bringing that little smile to your face and this sensation of being loved as you come upright, and take a few breaths. Nice, loving, deep breaths. Balanced breaths in and out through your nose. And then you could bring your hands together at your heart, bowing your head to your own inner teacher, to your practice for showing up for yourself again and again, to your higher self or your higher power. Namaste. Thank you so much, and have a lovely evening, and I'll see you tomorrow evening, probably at 8 o'clock. Namaste.